I'm the real Ted G, and you're watching my podcast. But before I get started on the podcast, which is actually going to be about college, I want to give a little shout out to some nice fans, Instagram followers. My niece Olivia Carroll over at Bayport Blue Point High School got a lot of her friends to follow me on Instagram, which was super sweet. And some of them are already on their journey into life and going to college. So a little shout out to Jake Mine. He's going to the University of Indiana. Vaughn Winicki going to Lehigh University. And Jacob Brower over at Gettysburg College. So good luck to you three. Good luck to everyone. And can't wait to see you guys on Instagram. So that brings us into our topic of college. And I have my producer Bing here on the microphone with me.
How's it going?
Hey, very good. So Bing, you went to college?
Yeah, I went to SUNY Oneonta. It has a very great reputation, known as Stony-Onta, and we actually have our own clothing brand, which is Stony-Onta Incorporated. So definitely check them out.
Awesome. I also went to a SUNY school, but prehistoric times. In fact, Stony Brook.
Stony Brook.
Yeah, I was over in the Stone Age.
Well, actually, it's because your brook is full of stones.
Yeah, so it is. And
Don't say Stone Age.
It really was the Stone Age because when I went to college, especially local, and it was in state university, it was very affordable. I paid for my own college, all 5 years of it. So,
nice.
But it was affordable enough that if someone had a job that they were earning an income, you could, easily pay for tuition. These days, I think I would really be dipping into a huge part of I'd have to refi my house to pay for some of these college tuitions.
And I remember when I was in school, they had this thing where if you dropped out of school, you weren't locked into your rate. So every year, at least at Oneonta, my tuition would go up every year, except if I started, say my tuition when I started was I think $23,000 a year, right? With no aid, no nothing. I got a bunch of aid and all that.
Then it would go up if you dropped out.
If you dropped out and then re-enrolled. So if you
wanted, well, that's the case these days with scholarships. If a student gets scholarships towards school and they want to change schools, the scholarships that other school might have been offering would not be in place. Yeah. So you get the scholarships based on going, making it your first choice, starting college, I guess starting it and finishing it. Mm-hmm. And there are some great, there's a lot of scholarships. My niece is going through the process right now. So there's a lot of scholarships available. And even I still see these bills, these college tuition bills.
They're too expensive, and it's because everyone wants one. And I don't necessarily think
a college tuition.
Everyone wants a college degree.
Do they? Is that really the case these days?
A lot of people.
There's when I was growing up. Well, listen, when I was growing up, if you went to an Ivy League school, you were all but guaranteed a six-figure income, walking right out.
Now you're getting a job. You're lucky if you get a job in your field. I was lucky when I got a job in my field. My first job out of school. I was actually working in my field when I was in school.
So I was what you tell our guests not to do. I'm looking at you, but I'm supposed to be looking at the camera.
See, I can look at you, but you have to look at the camera.
I should have got to school for media broadcasting.
Well, you said you went for media arts, right?
Oh yeah, those those different degrees. I originally started school, and I was totally thinking political science major, and then at some point, obviously finish a 4-year degree, and then jump into law school. That was my original plan. We can all see my original plan was not the perfect plan. It was not the plan for me.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people too. When I was in the hunt for looking for schools in high school, I was sitting actually at Stony Brook, and there was a guy. He went to school for biology, and he was giving us a lecture. He's like, "Yeah, I went to school for biology, and now I'm the dean of a college. So I don't really, a lot of people go to school for something and then they do something different."
Well, I actually do, for the most part, preach. I think that college is great. I think college gave me an added advantage, not because of a degree that I have. It's an added advantage of interacting with people, I guess. Maybe a little bit, you you leave high school and you go to college. Now, I'm not saying that college is for everyone, but it is something to look into if someone has the grades and they want to go and they have a real desire. If I had a real choice, I mean, I'm glad I went, but I made a real choice, meaning that my parents would have yelled at me if I didn't go. It was just expected. But I think that if someone had said, oh, you want to go to college, you don't want to go to college, either way, it's, I would have probably said no, but I definitely would have been feeling the results now. I think I would be a different person if I hadn't gotten
I'm in the same boat.
A fair college experience. And I don't mean the extracurricular experiences, and that they were good too. You get to interact with people. I went to a very large school, so and it was a very international school, so at least I know it was considered that. I think they had a lot of students from outside the country, and that was, I kind of like that too, because you got to meet people and cultures and that you may not have normally met. And then, well, anyway, that's my college days in a nutshell.
I'm in the same boat as you, because when I was in high school, I was thinking about just going to a trade school, and my parents were like, they were not happy about that. So they're like, dude, you got to go to school. You're taking AP classes. You're in honors classes. Like, just go. And I was like, all right, that makes sense. But if I didn't go, I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast right now, because I wouldn't have had, like, when I was in school, the drive. So I went to school for mass communications, and I wanted to focus specifically on radio. And I realized that if I,
so you are in the same field.
Technically, yeah. So when I was in school, I was like, okay, I need to make a podcast to set myself apart from the other kids in my major, because no one's really doing anything outside of the classwork. And it served me well, because it gave me it made me want to compete, and it showed me the importance of having an edge, especially when you're looking for a job, and now, in business. So if I didn't go to school, I don't know how I probably would have just given up or not had that,
I think what people miss the point when it comes to school, because I had not an argument, but a new agent who had joined my office about 12 years ago. He is on the other side of the spectrum, more ways than one probably, and he was preaching, well, why would I go to school when I can just do not so much do real estate? He was doing something a little different at the time, just getting paid per job, and I can earn this, and I can do this, buy a house, I can do that, and his plan made sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but you try to explain there's other things that benefit you from college or interacting or anything. A lot of people, I could say college, maybe I would have had almost the same kind of vast experience if I took a year and saw maybe some other countries or saw the rest of this country it's big and beautiful. So maybe that's what I'm saying, just to experience. But I think the point I was trying to make with this young gentleman was, but you're capable, you have the brain capacity to learn. Why wouldn't you want to learn and have a degree and say, okay, and see, maybe that degree is in business, maybe that degree is in in hindsight, all my favorite classes in college, because you took your major for your political science, so they were great. The American presidency, there was some interesting classes, but none were as interesting to me as some of the acting classes that I took. And not that I'm such a thespian, but I will say they were fun. Voice classes, improv, so those were the classes that exposed me to a little bit more of this kind of thing. And like when I was on a photo shoot, the photographer they do compliment me sometimes, so maybe it all impacts, maybe even this, I don't know. Do I look good on camera? What do you think?
I think you look great on camera.
People say nice things about the podcast. I don't know if I hope they mean them.
I'm pretty sure they mean them.
And listen, even if they don't, when they say nice things and they don't mean them, I like that. I call that a win too. Yeah.
I
when they say nothing, that's a score.
Listen, you bring the outfits, the background. I bring the production.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna change the background.
Yes,
we're gonna have a little bit of a different look. In a few podcasts to go. I
like how every couple of podcasts the room changes. Like, I walked in one day and there was a couch and these nice tables, and I'm like, man, this dude really knows how to decorate a room. I'll tell you what.
Oh, there's a lot of things I can't do. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to building an office or creating an office where the desks, or maybe the height of the desks. I remember when we first took this office over, and it was actually It was not the first one my boss took over and rebuilt, actually, and we definitely surged in business. It was not the first, but it was the one, two. So this would have been the third. And by the third time, it's like, oh, phone systems? Got that down pat. We know exactly what we're doing with the phone systems in the time that the guy is coming in to install them. Incidentally, I have that guy's house on the market now. So, new phone systems, we know how to not skip a beat. By the third time, you really know how to work it. The first thing I did when I came into this office, they had those old school desks with the hutch, the big hutch. Like I think everyone had them either in college or in your own house when I was growing up. And it just created such a divide, such a block of energy. And I mean, not block of energy, I mean blocking of energy. I took them down. I just unscrewed them, ripped them out from the desks. And then the whole place downstairs looked completely different. Then we added desks, we added people. And I was paid a compliment by the previous owner of this office, and he said, oh, upstairs I used to be able to get 4 desks if you want to take over part of the upstairs to fit more people, but I used to get 4 people up there, but the way you pack them in, you'll get like 10. I said, hey, Gep, you're right. And it's 100% true. When you need to, you pack them in. So anyway,
and that's important for college, though.
Yeah. Now I cannot say that I do. Oh yeah,
for dorms.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could design a dorm, and I bet you people would love it. Something like that, something that has no, let's pretend, heart involved. I'm good with it. Don't tell me to. It took me 18, 19, 20, 21, 5 years to figure out how my living room could look good. So, and I love furniture, but I'll buy the wrong furniture. So when it comes to a house, I can't say that I have the same eye. I couldn't even pick paint colors for my own house. It would be great if I did. I would just go with one look. That's why I can fall in love with a house, because I can fall in love with the choices that are made. But with an office, I know. That's it, pretty much. I know. Not that it's my way or the highway, but...
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean,
am I right or am I right?
Yeah, you're right. I'll tell you what. When it comes to I always had trouble decorating stuff. Like my decoration style is more like ADHD and like the 30s smashed together.
Oh, see, I've learned from all my clients that had a real knack for decorating. Like I could see what could work. I could see, and certain clients have just, they just put together a really nice house, and more power to them. They have such an eye. And I've actually worked alongside some of my agents had a decorating background. One of my current agents is an actual interior designer. Oh wow! And she's also a painter. We're gonna have. I'm hoping to have her on the show. Cool. She actually fulfilled a lifelong dream, and she opened up her own surf shop, which I love. Wow. I love their stuff. I'm gonna go buy something there later on this weekend, and I'll wear it on a podcast.
Which surf shop is it?
It's right here in Bellport. It's Summer Salt. Pun intended.
Oh, I know that place. Yeah, I drive past there all the time.
I love that place.
That's so cool.
I love her shop, and she is a talented human being. People, I mean, I've seen her do murals, people's pools and everything. So wow. She is talented, and now she's a business owner. She's cool. Also a licensed realtor, so she works with us. So I mean, I know how to put together an office. Don't ask me to put together a kitchen.
For dorms, the biggest thing I could say, pack light and don't bring a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm hearing all these stories about people packing up stuff and getting it together. One person told me that they bring up a truckload of stuff for their daughter every. Yeah, I'm not understanding. I would be like, wait a minute, if I'm gonna see, I didn't live on campus, but if I was to live on campus, I would expect everything to be there for me. Nowadays, see, this is 40 years later. 40 years later, if I was 18 years old, I'd be like, wait a minute, I'm paying this kind of money. I should definitely have room service. And I should they should come in and take down my bed every evening too.
You know what was messed up? I had an apartment off campus, right? So what I did is I took the loans for housing and I applied it to an apartment my junior and senior year of college.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, and it was great because it was cheaper than the dorm.
Probably pay for a cleaning lady.
No, you could. You could. I didn't do that. No. If she came in, she'd probably die from how messy it was. But I literally, it was just like $2,000 a month cheaper.
Amazing. That's kind of scary.
It's literally $4,000 a semester.
It also shows, in initiative in doing it and saving that kind of money. So that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
And so that seems to be the consensus, right? College is fairly expensive these days.
Yeah.
A lot more expensive than it used to be. And is the return, and this is where I was having a discussion with that other agent, is the return comparable as it was in my day? You bust your ass and if you graduate at the top of your class, definitely Ivy League schools would always apply.
I don't think it's as profitable. I got out.
I see a lot of people who went to college that do join the field of sales, and to join the field of sales is great if you have it in your blood. I didn't know I had it in my blood. No one would have ever guessed. And I'm saying I have it in my blood. So if anyone wants to correct me, feel free. Because I heard comments on these podcasts are beneficial to the SEO, I guess.
Yes.
No, but I'd love for someone to. I had no idea it was in my blood.
Someone said something when you were talking about 40 is the new 20. 40 is the new.
They did. I should watch my own podcasts.
Yeah, they said something. They were like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and that's why you don't have a house." So I was just like, "Oh,
I have a house, quite a nice one." Oh. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Let your haters know it's good. You got to flex on your haters
Wait till
sometimes.
you see my new house. No.
Nah, but
that'll be a surprise. That's going to be my December surprise.
December surprise?
Yeah, my December surprise. Yeah, because my birthday's on January 1st. And yeah, cool. If all the stars align, yes,
based,
we'll be looking at royalty.
That'll be awesome. Oh man, yeah, you gotta tag them in your video and then just like flex on them a little bit.
I mean, if they check public record, they would know I have a house.
I don't think this guy even knows what a public record is.
And wait, he's arguing on my 40 is the new 20. Because trust me, some of the 20s, I don't know where you guys are at.
Bro, I've seen, dude, a lot of us are like drug addicted. This is the problem too. Like college, man, a lot of people are drug addicted, alcoholics.
Well, I will say this. I feel the drugs are different these days because not that I'm promoting drug use. I do know that, people when I was growing up dabbled. I know people that did drugs. I actually, here's a crazy thing about college. That was the first time. So it was my fourth year in college. Fourth, not my first. Fourth year in college was the first time someone, a friend of mine, he definitely loved his marijuana. Oh, now it's legal. Yeah. So, well, back then it wasn't. So he loved his marijuana, and I was like, oh wow, Paul, you really young. Yeah, I was like, I went to a high school that people could say is definitely a cross section of people, and you'd think I'd have the after school special. Come on, try this, peer pressure. I'm like, I never got approached with someone saying, please, you have to do this, you're not cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't cool either way. So I never got peer pressure. And I said, yeah, no one ever approached me for drugs to do them. I've never done a drug in my life up until college. So 4 years in, I finally try pot. And I just get quiet. The friends that I was with all got worried. They were like, why are you so quiet? I do remember the effect because it was just very nice and easy. It was like must have shut down a part of my brain that just said, lie down and relax. Look at the clouds. I was like, okay, cool. So, and that was actually, by the way, that was the only time I did marijuana until about, then the pot pen. Then I went to Vegas for a convention, and it was cool to go to a dispensary.
Yeah, those are fun.
So I try to,
I used to smoke a lot of pot in college. I went to Stony Yonta.
Oh, wow.
I smoked
fun.
Oh, yeah. Too much fun. And it takes an effect on your health when you smoke pot every day and you don't realize it.
Oh, the reason I was bringing up that topic was because I knew that there were drugs. I mean, when I was growing up, the cocaine craze, right? Nancy Reagan kept saying, say no to drugs. But I do think that the difference in drugs nowadays, when I was in college, ecstasy was very big too. And again, didn't try that either. So what I think I'm assessing is definitely a different level of drugs, and I think there's problems, and they're stronger. Everything is addictive, obviously, but I think it's also deadly.
Dude, the Juuls, like Juuls, they have 5% nicotine, right? Cigarettes have 1.2% nicotine.
Yeah. See, you say Jules, and I'm just thinking three things. One's a singer. One I don't want to mention on Beverly Jules, and the Jules, like diamonds and rubies.
No, I'm talking about the vape. The vapes.
Okay.
And the electronic cigarettes, those have a high amount. And the thing is with the vapes, especially vaping marijuana, like you're inhaling not just carcinogens, but you're inhaling industrial metals and fiberglass.
Oh.
So, because when the coil heats up inside of the vape, it releases mercury and like other metals. Use and a lot of the stuff that you were smoking before legalization. I mean, it's still in the legal products.
And I don't mean to make light of drug use in any way.
Yeah.
Because I do see that. I just watched a Netflix series.
Oh, I threw up blood in college. Like, it's bad. Like, I was
Also, I
great.
watched a Netflix series recently, the one called Painkillers. It's about the OxyContin
Yes.
phenomenon. It's pretty nice. It's not a documentary. It's a series, right? So it's fiction-ish. But if it's even half true, it's scary, and I have a different understanding of what's going on out there. It's scary. It's
Yeah, the drugs are very strong, and it's easy to get hooked on oxy and all this other stuff, especially like the medical field, because they used to deal them out a lot. Now it's a lot different. Now it's like you got to be in dire pain to get oxy or any of that, the strong stuff. I would just say, stay away from drugs, honestly, for like the college kids, or at least limit it, because like pot's not like the 60s where you're picking out stems from a brick from Mexico. Like now it's like, this refined super kush. I remember once I smoked this strain. It's called Alaskan Thunderfuck, and I was 19, and I was staring at a tree for like 20 minutes.
I was at a club and I feel I met someone named Alaskan Thunderfuck.
Get out of here.
I'm not saying I don't go out and have fun. I just didn't do drugs, apparently.
No, there was that's I can't top that. That's funny, man. You met someone named that?
I met a lot of people.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate?
No, I don't think I should.
I don't think I should. Oh my god. Okay. Listen, kids, don't do drugs. And
It's gonna come off like a bad Austin Powers spinoff.
Oh my god. We should call the podcast that, the Bad Austin Powers spinoff.
oh, I love Austin Powers. So
I do too.
underappreciated. Yes.
He was funny.
Oh, should we shag now or should we shag later? Oh God,
dude.
I could watch that movie and crack myself up
forever.
Yeah, and I
ever.
tend not to. I'm not. Oh wait, that's a different topic. But I'm not the kind of person that I can't watch a movie over and over again. I like to watch a movie, enjoy it, but certain movies, like there's certain superhero movies that I could watch over and over again. Like Gladiator, I can't watch again. I watched it once. That's 4 hours of my life. But there's one movie that I, for some reason, whenever it's on it's television or anything, if I see that it's on, I'm going to let me tune in to that. Troy. I don't know why. It's just, and Brad Pitt's done some pretty good movies, some pretty cool movies, but it's just that one line he has. He has this one line in there that's like, I want to use it in an office meeting, and I've just never had the opportunity. It's like when we have an opportunity of a lifetime. Immortality. Take it. It is yours. It's just I was like, wow, that's a cool line. Yeah.
That's pretty
so
awesome.
yeah, superhero movies I can watch over and over again. Normal dramatic movies, I tend not to. Even Austin Powers, I probably have seen each one of them once, maybe a second time on maybe one or two, just out of chance.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I like to enjoy it. I like to keep that experience as a one of a kind.
Because you know what it is, like, I just get bored. Like, I know how it's gonna end, so it's like, why am I gonna watch this?
Yeah.
Only time I watched not 1917. I watched Dunkirk again, and I have to watch 1917 again, because both times I watched it in the theaters, and I was drunk, and I don't remember it, so I had to.
Oh, I saw Dunkirk. Yes.
Dunkirk was great.
And I think I've seen 1917.
It's the one where they have to run through the trenches and get to the front line and say that the war's over and you can't attack.
What movie?
anymore.
There's a movie I've never seen.
Which one?
I mean, I'm sure there's several movies I've never seen. But
I've seen a lot.
The one movie that I think everyone has seen and I haven't is Schindler's List.
You've what? You've never watched Schindler's List?
And I've heard it's such amazing film cinematic masterpiece. The red, like the color red, the use of color, the use of black and white. I'm sure it's genius. Steven Spielberg is amazing.
Yes.
A psychic once told me that I would get along with him. I
Cool.
just didn't know what she meant because I've never met the guy. But she said, no, her daughter used to work for. I was like, you see that? Like, you're psychic? And she said, no, my daughter used to work for him, and you have nice personality. He'd get along with you. I'm like,
That's
good
cool.
to know.
Good to know.
And a few people I could get along with. Bill Clinton, apparently. I go to a convention. I'm in a convention. I think it was in Orlando, several years ago. It's amazing who you meet. I met Bill Clinton's high school sweetheart.
Oh.
No, it was not Hillary Clinton. I could not even tell you her name, but she is the largest broker owner in Arkansas.
Wow.
No joke, obviously. Yeah,
Arkansas.
Who? Yeah, must have been something in the water when they grew up. She was his high school sweetheart. She obviously said beautiful things about him, and she said he'd get along with you. Like, we were just chit chatting.
Are they still in touch?
Hour. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be in touch with that. I mean, I wouldn't be repping that.
Yeah, but I always found it like, why do people say to me, you'd get along with so and so? I'm like, okay. What is that? Well, how about you introduce me to so and so?
Introduce me to Bill Clinton. Like, what are you doing?
Spielberg, please.
Let's get him on the podcast.
But yeah, Schindler's List. I haven't seen it. I feel like I do think
Dude,
I
cried.
should watch it.
I cried like a baby.
I'll cry. I cry during superhero movies. I feel I don't tend to cry in real life. Because.
He said, "No, I don't got no heart unless it's in a movie."
Yeah, but in a movie, I feel like I everything that's bottled up just is in my head. I can't see a parent dying because that just gets me in a movie. So anyway, but yes, I have obviously I have that really weird trait. But back to college. So I think college is wonderful. I think it's a wonderful growing experience, and I think kudos to the kids I just congratulated and good luck, and kudos to my niece Olivia J. Carroll from Bayport Blue Point. She's a senior this year, so she'll be making a decision on which college to go to, and she knows where my vote goes. I want to wear the sweatshirt, But so she'll get a kick out of this podcast. But I do think that college is something, and I have a new agent who's actually joining our office on September 1st. He's coming back from Italy, and he decided that college may or may not be for him. He's been in college 1 year, and his parents agreed for him to take a little bit of a hiatus, 1 year off, and because he seems to want to really get into real estate. And see what that can do, and more power to him for choosing something and standing his ground.
Especially his parents allowing him to do that. That's big.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, oddly enough, after he joined our office, he had already gotten to school and gotten his real estate the exam passing and everything, and he went home and he said, oh yeah, so I stopped at the Coldwell Banker office. I had an interview there, and he did his research. He did everything right, everything he's supposed to, and I guess maybe his parents appreciate that. And they said, oh wait, where'd you say you went? And he said, oh, Coldwell Banker, Patchogue. And they look at their refrigerator, and there's my magnet. Yep, there's my calendar magnet.
Oh, so they knew he was going to be fine.
Yeah. Anyone with a magnet, I must be great.
No, because it's you.
Yeah, they felt it was serendipity. It's like, what are the chances? And it's the actual person. It's not just the office magnet. It's my actual magnet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We got have some new blood. But yeah, he decided to take a year off. So yeah, that's something that someone could do. I would definitely, if you have it in the means and the opportunity to try, to go to college, even if it is for a year, you'll know if it's for you. It's a lot like real estate.
Definitely, I give everything a shot. And like I said, like what Ted said too, I had a roommate. He dropped out after the first year because college going away was not for him at all. And there's a lot of kids, they'd go to school and they'd fall off the deep end. And then there were a lot of kids that did succeed. But, you'll find out if it's for you or not, and there's no shame in not going back and trying something new.
Yeah. The only thing that I'll say from not so much experience, but just knowing people, and I've been around a lot of different people, if you're going to do college, do it when you're young. Mm-hmm. It's easier to learn. That's the one thing that I will say.
And you can
I
make
couldn't-
mistakes.
If someone said to me, I had to go back to college right now to get like a specific degree, it would be.
Dog, I'd kill myself.
Yeah, well, I'm too vain for that.
I'm just kidding, but like a lot of people were trying to get me to get a master's degree in college. They're like, "Oh, you have the mind for it. You could do." I'm like, "Yeah, but like, I'm just going for communications." And I was taking like history classes and social classes and stuff. So like things outside of my major.
And in life, I do. You said something really, really nice right now. You have the mind for it. I think in life, it's always great to have the mind for it or the brain for it. But I think the most important thing that someone can have for anything is the heart for it. Mm-hmm. And in all phases of life, all different careers, whether it's college, education, different careers, including real estate, it's not about how smart you are or how talented you are. It's about how much you want it, and it's about the choice between the pain of success and the pain of failure. And if the pain of failure is less, you have to make sure that the pain of success, you're willing to work through it, as opposed to just opting for the pain of failure.
Exactly. And it comes down to like where it comes down to heart. It's not always like someone, there's like a genuinely lazy person, and then there's a person that's like, this isn't like right for me, and they're just half-assing it because
someone who wants to succeed in college, and maybe they're not as smart. Like I actually hardly read books, and that's a definite deficiency in my book. That was a pun. In my book, that's a deficiency. I wish I could say I read so much more, but I don't. I read short, a handful of books. But someone who, maybe is just not as smart as their roommate, but if they're there sitting there studying, doing the work, they're working 3 times as hard to get the same result, and they want it more, they are going to succeed.
Yeah.
And the same thing I see in, me in real estate. I have to bring it back to real estate. I'm nothing if not an entertainer. No, I'm nothing if not a real estate agent, apparently. But yes, we bring it back to real estate, where it's like, yeah, you have to want it. That's our next topic.
That is our next topic.
Yes, that's a fun topic. I won't even give away the title, because just based on title, it's pretty cool. So I think
that's it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's it. And if we are going to talk movies, Old School is a really fun college movie to watch.
Old School,
right? I think
or Blue Mountain Ridge. Mm-hmm. Those are good ones too.
Wait, which one?
Blue Mountain Ridge.
Oh, never saw that one.
Blue Mountain High. I forget which one. I don't know. It's one of those college dude bro flicks. But tell them where you can tell the folks where they can find you.
They could find me in school. No, they could find me. They could find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
and Spotify.
Why I have a glitch with Spotify, I have no idea.
The real Ted G.
At the real Ted G.